I would like to share with you a little bit of knowledge, wisdom, whatever you feel comfortable with calling it, and in hopes of it may help you with the heaviness you may be experiencing in this season. I know for a lot of God's children, including myself, you may be in a difficult season, a hard season, and you're thinking to yourself, surely well, God isn't with me because it's hard, right? I, whatever you may be facing in your life, it just seems hard. It seems very difficult. And you looking at your situation, you looking at your circumstances, and you know, surely well, God must not be with you, or he may not have allowed this type of thing because of just how heavy it is and how you are feeling and just the circumstances of lifing right now, But I came with just some wisdom, with some knowledge of what I learned about walking with God, personally in my own life. And that is, just because it's hard doesn't mean God isn't in it. Just because whatever you may be facing, whatever it is that you may be going through, and it just seems so difficult and it seems so trying, it just seems so heavy, it seems like one thing after another, it just seems like there's no light at the end of this tunnel. It seems like nothing is letting up. It seems like nothing is moving forward. It seems like every time you take one step forward, it seems like you're going 10 steps backwards, and you thinking to yourself, you honestly thinking to yourself, and you're honestly feeling like, I know for sure God isn't in this. He would not allow me to go through such heartache, such trials, such tribulations, because this is just too hard, right? I thought he said that he wouldn't, give us more than what we can bear, according to how you're feeling. Trust me, I've been there more times than what I want to admit. But I would like to encourage you that that hard place that you may find yourself in, that God is still in it. God is still in it with you, and in that situation with you, and he's going through it with you every step of the way. And I know a lot of us, we look at the circumstances and we look at how life be lifing and everything we're going through, and we say, and maybe a lot of us get this because of the type of upbringing that we have. A lot of us has been exposed to prosperity preaching and things like that. So when life gets hard or it gets difficult, we say, well, surely well, God wouldn't allow it to be this hard for us. Or if he told us to do this or marry this person, or he called me to here, then surely well, it would be easy for me. And we have to remember that even though, or when we do, should I say, when we do find ourselves in seasons in our life where it's difficult, God is still there with us. And yes, he does allow difficult seasons in our life, because what I have learned, glory be unto God, thank you, Holy Spirit, what I have learned, y'all, is the hard places and the hard seasons, it's something about those seasons and it's something about those places that serves us. Now, what I will say is, not every hard thing or every affliction that happens to us is sent by God. Sometimes it be of our own doing. Sometimes it's the snares that entangles us from the enemies. Sometimes it be something that the Lord has sent. But regardless of how we got in that hard season, we have to trust that God can turn whatever situation it is, especially when it's sent from the enemy, to work for our good. So that hard place, regardless if it's physical, if it's mental, emotional, financial, whatever it may be in your life, God can use that to serve you. And normally that's what he do. That's how he uses it to serve us. It serves its purpose somehow if we sit with it and we allow it to do what it can do for us. Because if we sit with it and we don't try to rush it, or we don't pay no attention to it, or we don't learn the lessons, we're going to find ourselves repeating the same cycles and going in patterns. And we're going to find ourselves in the same seasons in life that we could have been out of. So that hard place usually is a place of preparation, and it's a place that the Lord is drawing your attention to. I think for many of us, we get stuck on Who's at fault? Is it, or are we at fault? Is the enemy? Did God put us here? Did somebody that did this to us put us here? Which is nothing wrong with trying to see, how did I get here, right? To keep from repeating that thing. But sometimes we got to open up our eyes a little further and say, what is the lesson up in this? What is this hard place teaching me? Is it serving me? Am I learning the lessons that I need to learn? So y'all, just because it's hard doesn't mean God isn't in it. He specializes in hard places and hard things. He can do the impossible in those situations, in our circumstances, in our life, if we sit still long enough to hear from him, if we sit still long enough to fellowship with him and ask him, Lord, what is it about this hard place? What is it about this hard season that you're trying to show me, that you're trying to teach me something about it? What is it? What's the lesson that's in here? Because usually it's the lesson. Not everything is physical. Some things is spiritual. Not everything is always spiritual. It's physical. God may be trying to highlight a certain thing up in your life, a characteristic, a personality trait, or something. But sometimes we get so in a rush because we don't like uncomfortableness, right? We don't like suffering. We don't like sorrow, but we know that it rains on the godly and the ungodly. So we know that it's suffering and trials and tribulation. It cannot be avoided. It's just a matter of time before it comes knocking at our door. We just have to know that in those hard seasons, God will allow it sometimes. And instead of rushing out or try to figure out a way out of it, we have to ask ourselves, what is this teaching me? What is this hard place trying to serve me? Because it's going to serve you if you allow it to. That hard place, that hard season. And that don't mean that you won't suffer. That don't mean that you won't be uncomfortable. It won't mean that you won't go through heartache and pain. But you have to trust that God is right there with you through it all. In that hard season, and know that if you sit still long enough, that hard season will serve you. And God will use it. And God is right there with you every step of the way through it. So instead of trying to push your way through it and fight your way through it, stay in there and ask the Lord truthfully and sit with yourself. What is it you trying to teach me? Because I want to learn the lessons that need to be learned. I don't want to repeat this. I don't want to keep circling around the same mountain and getting the same results just because I don't want to sit with myself or sit in the uncomfortableness that this season is trying to teach me. Again, regardless of what gave you that affliction or what gave you that heartache and pain, whether it was yourself, God, the enemy, it can serve a purpose if we allow it. So if you find yourself in a season where you're in a hard place and it don't seem like it's letting up, it don't seem like you see a light at the end of the tunnel, rest assured that first of all, you're going to come up out of it to everything under the heaven. There is a timing, and there's a season, and there's an appointed time for this season to be up for you. But you don't want to rush through it. You don't want to not learn the lesson and find yourself again in another season, and you just repeating cycles after cycle. So let this hard season serve you. Sit with God and ask him, what is it about this that you're trying to teach me, that you're trying to show me about myself? Because he will show you if you ask, if you slow down. So I hope this message blesses y'all and keep y'all. I just wanted to share that a little, that encouragement with you all, because I know that it's so much going on. It's so much going on in this world, and we have to continue to keep our mind stayed up on Christ. And it's kind of, for a lot of us, it can become kind of hard, specifically keeping our minds on Christ with so much going on. But even in your season, it can serve. That hard place, it can serve you right where you at. Until next time, God bless y'all. I love y'all so much. My name is Lashelle Monroe, and y'all please keep the faith.